Okay, this presentation will support Level 1 Business and Economics, where we're looking at producers and expansion, our objectives, understand why producers expand, explain the advantages and disadvantages of expansion, and describe the type of expansion applicable for some producers. Okay, so expansion. Producers expand for a number of reasons. It could be they want to gain strength over the competition. It could be a way of attracting more customers, gaining a better reputation, becoming a bigger organisation, more notoriety, and hopefully gaining more customers. It could be because that is the objective of the organisation, to become the biggest in the market. It does, to an extent, make sure that survival is more likely to occur, and therefore they can pursue other objectives. And as mentioned before, economies of scale. So just to recap what economies of scale are, as a business gets bigger, they experience these economies of scale, which effectively means that to produce one more unit of output becomes cheaper. So the reason why it's cheaper, because if they're making it on a larger scale, they're able to purchase the materials they need to make the products in bulk. That means the price per unit of output will fall. Likewise, if they're getting bigger, they can employ better and more efficient employees that work quickly, faster, and also with less waste and mistakes. And for that reason, they can reduce the unit of output cost. Also, as well, affording the best and latest machines means that, again, they can work to a much higher quality, much more efficient, and a little bit like the employees, there's going to be less waste. And for that reason, the unit of output cost will reduce. So, how can a producer expand? First and foremost, internally, this is through gaining more customers and raising the profile and reputation. This has a knock-on effect that if you gain more customers, you gain more revenue. If you've got gain more revenue, in theory, you should be able to gain more profits. If you gain more profits, the option to reinvest back into the organisation can lead to other forms of expansion, such as increasing your products, increasing the number of stores that you may have. And with that sort of success level, you may even change the legal structure of the organisation. So you change it so that maybe you're selling shares, you become a company. You may even change the management structure and the management hierarchy, and increase the number of employees. So therefore, you expand in that way. So that's very much looking at it from an internal point of view. Externally, firstly, vertical integration. So taking over, merging with a company in the same chain of production. So whereby you've got primary, secondary, and tertiary. Primary being those organisations that extract raw materials from the earth. Secondary being those organisations that take the raw materials, process them, and add value to them. And tertiary being the final stage, whereby they either offer a service with those now adapted raw materials, or they sell those adapted raw materials to the customers. So what vertical integration would be one stage of the chain of production. So the primary stage taking over the secondary stage. So it might be a woodcutter's, a timber yard, growing the trees, cutting down the timber, who sell it onto a chair manufacturers. So it might be the woodcutters taking over the chair manufacturers. That would be referred to as vertical integration. Horizontal integration, the same sort of idea, but this time it might be two companies at the same stage of the production process. So it might be a farm taking over a mine, for example, and they're both extracting. The argument may be they're both using very similar material, similar tools, and so for that reason they may take each other over. The final one might be diversification, and this is whereby there is no link to the primary sector or the secondary sector. It could be a tertiary sector organisation taking over an unrelated primary sector organisation. A very good example of a company that does that, an organisation that does that, is Virgin. We've got Virgin Media, Virgin Airlines, Virgin Trains, etc., etc. Lots of different variations of that one organisation, and that is an example of what diversification is. So, decisions a producer must make about expansion. So, first off, they think, why would they expand? Okay, what are the decisions? Okay, what is it in terms of what they gain from the expansion, in terms of what resources may they gain? Okay, In some examples, they might be doubling up on resources, so therefore they might only need one resource for the now expanded company. The competition. Okay, so there's going to be issues on the competition, less competition you'd think. Okay, customers. What's going to be the customer's reaction to an expanded company? Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? And overall productivity. Does it mean the productivity will go up?